question regarding the two different Gospels, and I want to make sure that I sort of have a correct understanding. And one's the Good Samaritan, and the other's the five wise virgin and the five foolish. You know, the Levite and the other person who's past the Samaritan have reasons according to the law, if I understand the Gospel correctly, why not to deal with him. But the Samaritan was the one that we always look to as the moral person because he went above and beyond and helped somebody who would not probably have helped him. Then the wise virgins come and we see that the five who have oil won't share with the five who run out. Is it because the five wise who ran out did that to themselves? I mean, they weren't responsible, and that's why it's okay for them not to be given any oil and shut out of the marriage feast.
Good questions. Okay, so regarding the Good Samaritan story, yeah. Part of obviously, like any of the parables of our Lord, and as you read the fathers of the church and their commentaries, you're going to see multiple levels of interpretation here. So initially, you could say, okay, what our Lord is pointing out there in one case is that their laws, like the Levites, for example, were binding them from helping someone who was so obviously in need, right? Like if you saw someone on the side of the road who was that in need of something, you would help them, right? Like what would prevent you other than like danger to your own life, right? Or something like that, what if that situation could occur? And so they were so focused on their laws that even just the basic compassion and mercy, they were blind to. And how often does our Lord point that out, you know, in the Gospels and things like that about their law getting in the way? So our Lord is showing, okay, you have to go to the heart of this. What did he come to do? Well, to show us that this law of love, right, that must encompass and be undergird everything. Also, you'll see interpretation there of simply that when the man came to, the Good Samaritan came to help this poor man, that of course he actually represents Christ, and the Levites and their law, because they had no sacraments, they couldn't actually help this man what he really needed, and that is salvation. They could not bind up his wounds. It's only Christ who comes and places this healing balm on these wounds, and then takes him, that is to the inn, that is to the church, for his healing and then ultimately his salvation. Certainly plenty of more resources I could give. If you want to email me or something, I can give you good places to look for that. But onto the 10 virgins, simply what I think it comes down to is that what the oil represents is their spiritual preparedness, their virtue. Those things cannot be shared, right? That's why it's not that they will not, that they cannot do it. For example, on the day of judgment, when it comes, may we be prepared. There'll be no more time, to form, virtue within our souls and the merits that we need to attain the glory of heaven, or in other words, to simply respond to God's grace, to let Him form His life within us. You can't give that to someone, right? And especially in such a time as that. And so I think the point of the parable there is that the time is now, to prepare. And when the Lord comes, may our lamps be filled. May those lamps be filled with His virtues, the merits, His life that is within us. One that is not ours to give, but one that is ours to receive, from Him. And He's the one who gives it. If only, of course, the five foolish virgins, had kind of opened their eyes and opened their hearts to receive that. So I hope that at least that answers your question. A good beginning to your answer. Now, again, I'll give you some more resources on that if you would like.